He has fought 10,000 skirmishes. Not victorious, exactly, still standing. That's the difference chaos makes. It doesn't crown you, it carves you. Every battle stripped something away. The need to win. The hope that preparation eliminates uncertainty. The belief that effort alone controls outcomes. What remained after 10,000 fights wasn't what he wanted to be. It was what he actually was. Here's the question this video answers. How does relentless struggle reveal who you really are? Because chaos isn't the enemy of self-knowledge. It's the forge. We're going to track one leader through an escalating series of crises. A single arc, from first mistake to final stillness. Each battle either breaks you or burns away everything false until only your real character remains. By the time you understand how 10,000 fights shaped him, you'll see why discipline under pressure doesn't come from avoiding chaos. It comes from learning to meet it without flinching, over and over, until there's nothing left to prove, and nothing left to hide from. The first time the supply line was cut, he tried to fight the empty road itself. He sent more riders, changed the route, doubled the guard, but the road stayed empty, and panic crept in like a slow poison. That panic taught him something he would never unlearn. Effort alone doesn't control outcomes. The flank collapsed next, not because the enemy was stronger, but because he had spent the night trying to predict their every move. He had prepared for a dozen scenarios and still missed the one that happened. Which fantasy would you cling to first? That you can control the outcome, or that you can control how others see you? Each failed attempt to force the world to bend peeled away another false layer. The part that needed to win, the part that needed to look competent. By the 1,000th fight, he no longer mistook composure for weakness. Chaos wasn't defeat, it was the price of admission. And the only thing worth controlling was whether he acted or reacted. Then the war ended. Not with a final charge, but with silence. The allies who stood beside him through 10,000 fights packed their tents and left. The enemy that had shaped every decision, every reflex, every morning, gone. For the first time, there was nothing to react against. And that quiet became his hardest battle. The vigilance that had kept him alive now had no target. The discipline that had felt unbreakable in the furnace of combat began to soften in the absence of heat. He caught himself waiting for orders, for danger, for something to force his hand. Here was the stoic truth he had never faced. Self-mastery forged only against an external enemy is just survival dressed as virtue. When pressure lifts, what was built on reaction collapses. The real test isn't whether you can stand in the storm. It's whether you keep standing when the storm never comes. He had to learn to act from identity, not resistance. To move because this is who he is, not because the world is pushing him. The chaos that reveals you isn't always loud. The final battle is the one no one sees, when nothing forces your hand, and you choose steadiness anyway. That is where the self you built through struggle becomes who you actually are.